Now, if you know your football, your Scottish football in particular, this is a man that needs absolutely no introduction, but we're going to give him one anyway, because why not?
I understood 3 words. Finish.
A man who's been synonymous with the game here in Scotland for, maybe say it quietly, almost 4 decades. Can you believe that? 4 decades.
No, I don't. Saturday. Mixu. Saturday. Saturday is when I perform, not Thursday.
He's played for some of the biggest clubs this country has to offer and become a hero, pretty much all of them. He's also managed a few big clubs here as well.
Oh, what a feeling. I still get shivers.
He also made a little bit of history in England, and his name still resonates in Bolton of all places, thanks to a certain Peter Kay sitcom.
Peter Kay, unbelievable. It must have been because weird name.
More on that to come. So as you can tell, there's plenty to get through, so let's do it. I'm Jonathon Moar from the Scottish Sun, and this is, of course, the great Mixu Paatelainen, and this is Scottish football's cult heroes. Right, Mixu, you've been in Scotland pretty much for the most part since 1987, so there's a lot of your career to pack in. We've tried to do it. That's not all your career, but we've picked out some of the highlights. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you various pictures of big moments in your career, people involved in your career, and we'll have a conversation about them.
Looking forward to it.
1987, that's where we're going to take you back to. You were in the Tangerine of Dundee United.
Wow.
Remember that young whippersnapper?
Those were the days. Look at that hair. Brilliant. It was about 25 kilos ago. It was about, beautiful hair. Great days.
Yeah, you can still get it back, I'm sure. So that was your first club in Scotland, 1987, as we said. Tell us a bit about how you came about to be joining Dundee United back then. How did that move happen?
It was through my father's business contacts. He was on business trip here in Scotland, and I was obviously in Finland playing. And after the business talks, my father and the opposite number, they started surprisingly talking about football. And it happened to be that the other side of the table was a Hibs director. Boardroom member, and then my father said that I played in Finland. I played for the Olympic team at that time, and also for my club, and really keen, ambitious. He said that why does your son not come here for a month and train with the team? And the club who just was in the UEFA Cup final.
Of course, yeah.
So it was unbelievable opportunity, and it all materialized. I was meant to come here to Dundee United to train for a month and see what the professional football is like, because those days in Finland it wasn't professional. And after a week, Jim McLean offered me a contract. So I must have done something right in the first week.
Absolutely. Well, you mentioned Jim McLean, and he is, of course, the second picture. There he is, the man that brought you to Scotland.
That's a good photo.
It is indeed.
That's probably me he's shouting at.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I believe you couldn't quite understand them very well at first, and I think it got you into a bit of bother, didn't it, to say the least, the early doors?
Yeah, it was. I remember the second game was a Dundee Derby, Dens Park, and dressing room really small, tiny. I think the subs had to go out before the game when the starting 11 got dressed, and then we lost the game, and Jim McLean was furious. I was raging, and then he comes in the dressing room, and he went one by one every player. I can't say what he said, but it wasn't nice. He comes to me, and I was like, I understood 3 words what he said. Never mind Scottish accent. Those days, I didn't understand Scottish accent. Never mind if somebody is shouting at you and absolutely fuming. I understood 3 words: finish.
Wow.
And then every time he took a breather, I'm sitting there like that. I'm looking at his eyes, and every time he took a breather, I said, "Yes, boss. Yes, boss. Of course, you're a good boy." And yes, boss. And then every time I said yes, boss, he shouted even louder. And I was like, "No, how do I get away? I'm supposedly, playing the game here." And then eventually he went like that and said something I didn't understand what he said. And then he went to the next guy and started giving him all sorts. And then in the shower the boys came to me and said, "Mixu, did you understand a word what the manager said to you?" I said, "No, only the 3 words." And he said that you were so bad today. Did you go to the boozer last night? Yes, boss. Yes, boss. So he must have thought I was sarcastic or something. You know, it was unbelievable. Honeymoon was over. That was it.
Absolutely. And just to confirm, you didn't go to the boozer?
No, I didn't. I didn't. But the word boozer wasn't taught at school. You know, surprise, surprise. So didn't have a clue what it was saying. But it was introduction.
Well, things obviously improved from then because you ended up spending 5 years at Dundee United, 5 good years at Dundee United. Jim McLean, obviously everyone talks about those sort of moments. They remember the fiery moments. But as a manager and as a man, once you kind of got over that early blip, just what was he like to play for? How much of your
on a training
career
ground?
Him for?
On a training ground, he was a genius. Well ahead of his time. Tactically, really, really good. Every player knew exactly what to do out there. The moves and timings and all that, and he literally took you by the hand, you know, when we're doing shaping and stuff like that and preparing for the matches. It was really good. I remember the afternoon sessions for the strikers and midfielders, and then against the young white ears defenders, you know, the striker combinations and one short, one long, how the midfielders combined with us, and it was fantastic. Those drills are still 100% valid. They're really good and well used. He was tremendous. I remember he wanted to, sport science-wise, we were doing strength and conditioning work, but he also wanted the carbohydrate intake. You know, he wanted to go into that. It was unheard in Scotland those days, in UK, and he took a Norwegian physio, Torje, in and Torje introduced, instead of having the builder's tea, you know, the sweet milky tea, and jelly babies and jaffa cakes, you know, half time and before the matches and so forth. Torje, you know, wholemeal bread, fruits, bananas, isotonic drinks, water, stuff like that, which is proper. So he introduced all that, and everything was going well. And then we lost one game. Jim comes in the dressing room. He's absolutely fuming. Door nearly left the hinges, and then he looks at us. And he says, "Yeah, bastards." He looks at us, and he says that you're eating bananas before the game. At half-time, you play like a bunch of monkeys. That was Torje must have been like, oh dear. But it was unbelievable.
Were bananas ever allowed back in the dressing room?
They were there, but it was. But the funny thing is that nobody laughed. Afterwards we laughed,
sure they
but
did.
nobody laughed at the time because we were scared. We were so scared. It was unbelievable. But it was. But I'm thankful. My early years, my first club abroad, to play under his management, his coaching, you know, learned so much, great grounding, and really thankful for that.
And just quickly before we move on to your next club, is it true he offered you a 9-year contract
Yes,
at the very start?
yes. Offered me a 9-year contract, and we were like, what? And after 1 week, and there was it was unbelievable. I tell you why it was 9 years, because my first trial match was against Hibs at Tannadice, reserves, and Andy Goran played. He must have been injured or something like that, but in Hibs goals, and then there was this very experienced left back, and I played as a centre forward, and this experienced left back got the ball on the wide left of the keeper. And I went to close him down, and I went my usual style, you know, straight in and take no prisoners. So I tried to win the ball, fair and square, obviously, and the experienced left back flew into the red gravel around the Tannadice.
Yeah.
And went there and crawling there and everything open, you know, his side. I was like, no, and I went to him and he said, beat it. And I didn't understand the word what he said, but anyway, I think he said beat it. He wasn't happy with me, put it that way. Then the boys came after the game. Boys came to me after the game. They said, Mixu, did you know the player you tackled? It was Alex Miller, the Hibs manager, and he played for the reserves that day, helping youngsters, around him and all that. So I went and glutted. The way Jim must have said, "Oh, I'm gonna sign him." They're brilliant.
Brilliant.
But
well, seeing Alex Miller wasn't the manager that would eventually sign you for Hibs, then I think he probably remembered that one.
I have apologised to him though. I have. Once I think I was Kilmarnock, managing Kilmarnock at the time, and I was scouting, and it was a Hibs boardroom, and I saw Alex there because he was Liverpool and Far East and all over. And then I saw him there. I thought, this is my chance to apologise to him. I went to him. Do you remember that? And he remembered that. And I said, this is my chance to apologise. Sincere apology for that. We laughed. We laughed. It was great.
Brilliant. That was Dundee United. 5 years there. We then see you, eventful 5 years. That was just a snippet. We then see you in the red of Aberdeen.
Yes.
How did that one come about? Did you decide it was time for you to move on? Was that the crux of it, really?
I was ready to move on, but one late afternoon after training, phone went, and Jim McLean phoned and said that the club has agreed a fee for me with Aberdeen, and would I like to speak to them? And I said, yes, I would. Obviously Aberdeen were a strong team at the time, and Willie Miller had been just appointed as a manager. I think I was Willie's first signing. And so I went, that evening up to Aberdeen from Dundee and agreed everything, and that was it. Wonderful time. What a wonderful club. So is Dundee United, obviously, but and they are arch rivals as well. But it was a good opportunity for me. Great club. Really enjoyed my time there. Scored quite a few goals. Played a lot on the left midfield.
Yeah, I was going to actually ask you that, because people always know you as a penalty box striker, but that's not often how you played up there at all, was it?
Played a lot on the left wing, and I remember Paul Mason was a right winger, and he crossed the ball backstake, and I scored quite a few goals from there. And it was great. We had a good team, experienced team. Good balance, and then Ian Jessies and Scott Booths, and they were youngsters coming through, and good players, and scoring regularly as well, and we had Duncan Shearer up front. The second season, he scored the barrel load, and it was great, and my first full season to score 23 goals, and majority of them from the left midfield was good tally, and but really enjoyed. We played attacking good football. Finished second in all competitions. Unfortunately, didn't win a trophy, but it was close.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you that as well. A special team, as you mentioned, all those players. Was it a case you were just unlucky at the timing you were up against? Arguably Rangers' greatest team ever, because that second season in particular, you pushed them so close. To the very end. Yeah,
it was all credit to Rangers. They turn up in the cup finals, 2 cup finals, League Cup and Scottish Cup final, and narrow victories 2-1. But they got the trophy, they won the game, and they played better on a day. In the league campaign, I think we played well against the top half the teams. We dropped silly points against the lower. And hey, you have to be consistent. You have to, whoever is in front of you, you have to produce it and get the 3 points. Unfortunately, we didn't. Although I felt that we were well capable. I don't know why, and didn't win the league. But Rangers won everything.
You didn't get silverware over the line at Aberdeen, but this picture shows that in your next move, you very much did.
Oh. That's with Coyley.
That's Owen Coyley.
Owen Coyley, yeah, brilliant.
Tell us all about this day. That must be right up there with the most special days you've had in your career.
Unbelievable. It was a player final championship to the Premier League, and Wembley, typical bank holiday Monday, roasting hot, May bank holiday, late May, and the match was a roller coaster, and obviously the richest game in the world. Is they get promoted to the Premier League. The vast money spinner, and all that. And we had been in at Wembley before that season with the Coca-Cola Cup final against Liverpool with Bolton. I remember Bruce Rioch, our manager, said that without knowing that we were going to get to Wembley next, same season, he said that next time we come to Wembley, we'll win. And everybody was like, okay. And so it happened. We were in the playoff final. What a roller coaster against Reading.
Incredible game.
20 minutes gone, played. We were 2-0 down. And they played well. They started, and we didn't start. 30 minutes played, they got a penalty. And our goalkeeper, Keith Brannigan, saved it. And I remember half-time, we were 2-0 down. Branny's save is a sign. That's what Bruce Rioch kept saying. Oh. Branny's save is the sign. Come on, keep at it. Keep doing the same stuff, And 11 minutes before the end, Owen Coyle scored. 2-1 goal. 7 minutes or something like that before the 90 minutes, Fabian de Freitas scored 2-2, extra time. Brilliant, and we had the momentum. We were like, come on, let's do this. Wonderful occasion. One half is our colours, Bolton Wanderers supporters. The other half is Reading supporters. Atmosphere is unbelievable. Packed Wembley, and then extra time. First half extra time, I managed to score header, and 3-2. Oh, what a feeling! Oh. I still get shivers.
Can't be many better feelings.
I still get shivers. 3-2, we were in the lead first time in the match. And then we got Fabian de Freitas scored the 4-2 goal. We went 4-2 up. Then they scored 4-3. Yes, we did have goalkeepers. and they scored 4-3. And they bombarded our box the last 5 minutes of the extra time. It was unbelievable. Thankfully, our defenders, we held on, and we won it 4-3 and promoted. What a feeling. Unbelievable. After extra time and that roller coaster of a match, come back, and it was special.
It made you the first Finnish player to play in the English Premier League as well as it was at that time. Is that something you're proud of?
I don't know whether I'm proud of, but it's one of those statistics. But no, it was great to play in I regard as the best league in the world. It was great. Okay. We didn't, as a team, as a club, we didn't improve enough our squad, so we went straight back down, unfortunately. But playing those legendary stadiums, it was great. But unfortunately, we got relegated. And the next season, we bounced back straight away. We got promoted again, automatic. We won the championship. In my 3-year spell, Bolton, 2 promotions to the Premier League. It was great, fantastic. It was a great time.
Now, this programme's obviously Scottish football's cult heroes, but you remained a bit of a cult hero in Bolton, and I've always wanted to ask you about this because you must be aware of it, the rather random mention you got in Phoenix Knights, of all things.
Because I've got a weird name. Yes, Mixu Paatelainen, and it was unbelievable.
I don't know how much time you spend in Bolton. If you go back, do people shout that across the street at you?
No, well, after Bolton, I went to Wolves, and we still stayed in Bolton. I was commuting and staying in a hotel a lot, and it wasn't ideal. It was Peter Kay, unbelievable. It must have been because weird name, so he must have been. I'm going to use that. I'm going to use that in one of my sketches, and there it was.
And just to confirm, it wasn't you on the other end of the phone, and you have never worked at the coroner's office in Bolton.
It wasn't me, but it was funny.
You mentioned Wolves. After that, it was back to Scotland, and we'll get into this specific moment in more detail in a few moments. Arguably your finest hour on a Hibs strip. But let's just talk about when you signed for Hibs at first. Obviously, they weren't in the Premier Division at the time, in the second tier, the old First Division as it was at the time.
Yep.
Alex McLeish, the manager, some you knew from Aberdeen.
Yeah.
Did you think it was any kind of risk joining a club in the second tier at that point whatsoever?
No.
Or were you confident in what was happening there?
No.
They were going to go straight up?
Obviously, having played in Scotland and against Hibs in the Premier League, my Dundee United and Aberdeen days, I knew that Hibs was a good big club, well supported club. Knowing also that Alex McLean was the manager. I played with him at Aberdeen before he went to Motherwell as a manager. So those two things together, I had no qualms about it. I knew that we would get back in the Premier League. Not easy, but eventually anyway. Perhaps not the first season, but it happened to be it was the first season. But it was a sticky start. I remember when my debut, Love Street against St Mirren, we got beat 2-0. We didn't play well at all. I don't think Hibs were playing well start of the season at all. And then gradually, Alex built the squad. Then started Russell Latapis come and others, and eventually Frank Sauces and players like that. Then we won it comfortably, the promotion. But it was a sticky start. Certainly it wasn't like plain sailing from the beginning. So all credit to McLean as a manager. To keep the cool head and keep working and keep improving and all that, and the players as well, and the supporters, of course. It was happens every now and then that big club gets relegated and it's not so clear every time that you get promoted straight back. So, but thankfully we did.
And then, as we just said, fast forward to this moment, that Derby win. How good a day was that for you? That must be right up there with special days as well, as far as your career goes.
It was a wonderful victory for us. Obviously, Derby's, everybody knows how much it means to everybody, and tremendous. The way Hearts started, they started better that match, 1-0 ahead. And then luckily we got two quick goals back just before half time. I managed to be in a sniffer dog in the box and got my leg the final touch into the net, and it was a funny game. I remember half time we're 2-1 up, and McLean said that we don't start defending. Let's go. Keep at them, go at them, and next goal is ours, and it happened to be so. And the second half was ways of attack, and we were good that night. That was a great night, and some good combination play. Not only the goals, but in overall, and some goals were nice as well.
Now that win, the 6-2 win over Hearts at the time, it put Hibs, I think it was 5 points behind Celtic at the time and 7 points clear of Rangers. So as we saw Aberdeen last season, when a team has a good start, people start talking up title chances. I remember at the time Martin O'Neill felt you were contenders, Dick Advocaat didn't. Did you have any talk within the Hibs dressing room at that time?
No.
That you felt you could go on and do something like that at that point?
No, we just kept the head down and kept fighting every match. There was no easy matches. Every match was difficult and is difficult, and there was no talk of that as well. And Alec is very intelligent man. He didn't allow us, to think anything else but the task in hand.
Now, after all 3 of those goals in that game, and after most of your goals in your career, you had a rather exuberant celebration there, mid-celebration there. I remember when I was growing up during this era, it was one of the first things I remembered about Scottish football was seeing you doing this. What I've always wanted to know is, how on earth did you find out you could do that?
I used to do gymnastics as a youngster in Finland a long time ago. When I was a youngster, to that day, And I actually did that Wembley as well when I scored in the playoff final. And I just had to do it. Had to do something stupid, so that's what I did. So just to celebrate it. So it was great.
Can you still do it?
No.
No.
With the 2 replacement knees and 1 angle fused and all that and everything else. So no.
You mentioned that was such a special Hibs team. Obviously, you had a couple of spells in between going to Strasbourg as well in France. You mentioned some of the players earlier. What talk about Franck Soze in particular? You know, it's incredible when you think back, even at that stage of his career, a Champions League winner, a France captain, had come to Scottish football to play.
Incredible.
What was it like to have somebody like that in and around the club, in the dressing room as a leader? Must have been pretty incredible.
Fantastic. So calm. Good sense of humour, but not a loud person. But good sense of humour anyway. And we were good friends on and off the pitch, and Frankie was fantastic. But he was obviously coming strongly towards the end of his career, and he knew that you should concentrate on Saturdays. And I remember once we were training, and in the end of the training session we had we 5-a-sides going, and you had to win every match, and you're so competitive. Frankie was in my team and didn't want to play basically at all. He wasn't moving, at all. I was fuming. Come on, Frankie! Come on, we need you. We need to win. And Frankie was like that. Just showing to me. I was like, come on! And then. I was fuming, and then he comes after the training. He comes to me in the showers. Everything happens in the showers, and then he comes to me and said, "Mixu, you are right. I should play more. I should try more, but Mixu, I am now 38 years of age. Saturday, Mixu, Saturday is when I perform, not Thursday." Not Thursday. And I said, okay, fair enough. And he did perform on Saturday. And he did perform on Saturday. So no problem.
Also, there was a lot of transition, sort of in between your first and second spells at Hibs. That sort of team with those guys, Soze, Zitelli, yourself. Yeah. When you left in 2003, that sort of new generation was coming through. Your Scott Browns, Kevin Thompsons, Gary O'Connor was already established in your final season as well. Could you tell that group of players was going to go on to be something special even at that very early stage from seeing them inside the club?
Absolutely. They were fantastic. Really, young age, and just came from the under-19s, and already ready for the Premier League. No problem. So you wasn't surprised that so many of them went to play for Scotland and high level. But no, it was so visible. It was great to see. It was fantastic. And all credit to Hibs youth development. How they've turned these players into to be megastars.
You had a couple more years playing after your second spell at Hibs, then it was into management, had tremendous success at Cowdenbeath right away, winning the Division 3 title, took a job back in Finland, and then all of a sudden it was back to Easter Road. I take it that was a pretty easy decision to take the manager's job to come back.
Everything was good in Finland. It was a club that was good in size, but and used to be okay in the 70s and that, but they wanted to revive the club, if you like, and then they asked me to join them from Cowden, which was fantastic season, and great experience. So I went there, but as soon as the CEO came to me and he said that Hibs been in contact with the club and they're asking permission for you to speak to them. Do you want to speak to them? There was only one answer. Yes, absolutely. It was very early in my career. But no, it was, there was no hesitation at all. It was yes.
You mentioned it was quite early in your managerial career, first time obviously managing the top flight in Scotland. It wasn't always easy. You were there for 18 months. Looking back, is there anything you might have done differently looking back at that job now?
100%. I think it was a pity, if you can say that. It was so early in my career. I wish I had a little bit more knowledge. I kept changing the formation. I kept changing the players. I kept changing the roles for positions. How I wanted them to play. It was try this, try that, and keep changing. Too many changes. We didn't find the our thing, and then tweak it a little bit, not wholesale changes. So that's my regret. Although we were in top 6 in both seasons, which was the minimum target, and we achieved that, but I wanted to achieve more, 100%. And looking back, it was too many changes. And I was a young manager. I was looking for my way, and all that. And then when I left Hibs, had a year out from the game. I was traveling a lot of European countries, Spain, Portugal, Germany, Holland, Sweden, loads of clubs in England, talking to the managers, with coaches, their philosophies, how they go about, how they train, how they play, and trying to find my way. And I was much more ready when I went to Kilmarnock afterwards. But that's what it's all about. It's all about learning. Every time you learn from good experiences. You learn certainly from not so successful experiences. So yeah, if you want to learn, you learn all the time.
Before we look at Kilmarnock in a little bit of more detail, just one picture from your reign at Hibs. You might know what's coming here. A rather infamous dugout incident.
Oh.
There you are. So bringing back some memories there.
Yes.
Scottish Cup tie at Ibrox. Things got very heated in the dugout, didn't they?
Yes.
I think that's enough for me to say. Let's hear from yourself, Mixu. What exactly happened here?
Before I say anything, I had, and I have, utmost respect to Walter. What a wonderful person, what a wonderful coach. Absolutely top draw, and sadly missed. But he'd of the game, and him, his experience and all that, and I quite like to see that. He was, full of, that adrenaline and that. But what happened was our fullback was tackled badly right next to the our dugout sideline, and I jumped off my seat right to the edge of the technical area, and I'm shouting to my player, "Don't retaliate! Don't retaliate! He's gonna get sent off! Don't retaliate!" Because I was fearing that he would get up and boom, retaliate, and 2 red cards. I don't think it was a red card at all.
Nacho Novo
was it?
Get sent off. It was
he got
Thierry Gattuso, I think it was.
Yes, that's right. It was exactly. So Nacho was sent off. Yeah. So I said, "Don't retaliate! Don't retaliate!" And obviously, Walter must have thought that I'm giving pelters to Nacho Novo, for that tackle. So then Ibrox is loud as any after that incident, and always. And then I turned, away, and Walter Smith is like bloody half a yard behind me, shouting at me.
He's in your side of the dog.
He's in my technical area, and shouting, giving me pelters, and I couldn't hear him. That's how loud he was. And I turned and I saw him, and I was like that, Then he was like, giving me all sorts, and I gave him all sorts. I said that, you get, back to your technical area, and a few strong words were used there, and all that. But and then after the game, the tradition is that visiting coaching staff.
Yeah.
goes to the home manager's office, maybe for a bowl of beer or a glass of wine or soft drink or whatever, and I asked wee Parky and the guys, my coaching staff, that should we go in? They were like, yeah, I don't know. I said, yes, we'll go in. So we sneaked in, behind Walter's office door, and opened it just a tiny bit, and peeked in, and then he saw me. He said, "Big man, come in!" He's shouting. The end of the room behind the desk, "Come in!" And he was walking towards me, and first thing he said, "Big man, I want to apologize. I want to apologize. My behavior at this age, I should know better." That's what he said. I said, I want to apologize as well, my words, towards you, because I don't mean any of that. It was just here at the moment. But that's the game. That's the game. It happens. But it means so much to us.
Amazing. Well, as promised, we're now on to very smiley face as Kilmarnock manager. You obviously went at Kilmarnock for very long, because the Finland job would come calling.
Yeah.
One that you obviously decided you couldn't turn down at that point. But focusing on the job at Killie, you received loads of plaudits that season. Things went really well for Kilmarnock. A really good squad you recruited together. Did you feel sort of vindicated by how things went at Kilmarnock in any way, after how things had maybe gone not always to plan at Hibs, and your approach and things like that maybe?
I didn't think that way, but now that you mention, I was feeling great because we were playing well. But I told you I was looking for my way of doing things. How much tactical training, how much mental holidays for the players to enjoy training, find the balance, and finding that balance was the key. I felt that I found the balance much better, and the consistency was there compared to Hibs days, in terms of the lineup and the formation and all that. Of course, there's always changes, and you tweak it a little bit because of the opponent and the change of personnel, perhaps their attributes. But no, it was. We didn't actually start the season that well, Killie. We didn't play badly. We started 4-3-3 formation. We didn't play badly, but we lost by an odd goal. It was Halloween, end of October, and we had the Sunday match, I believe, against Hearts, Tynecastle, difficult place to go to. We were last table, so that shows you. And we were like trying to find the way. But what had happened before that, I got a chance to bring in Alexei Yeremenko Jr.
There he is.
Oh, there he is.
Right there.
Right. I knew his father well. Alexei played for the Finland national team at the time. Didn't know Alexei, but I phoned his father. I heard that he was training with his club in Finland, Finnish Premier League. I said, why does he not come to Kilmarnock? Great window to show his talent. And so he came, and so I had two number 10s. We Mehdi Towel, you might remember him. We French Moroccan, brilliant, fantastic player, fantastic character. I wanted to play Mehdi, but then I had Alexei as number 10. So I said, play them both. And then one evening, my living room, I had a tactic board on the table, and the players there, and I put Mehdi and Alexei there. And I said to myself that I can't play 4-3-3 anymore. So these guys are offensive and artists. They don't like to defend and track back, and they don't. So I must have players below them with high discipline. And I put two players there I trusted. And then I said that, I need see the midfielder to protect the centre halves. I wanted to play a back four because I wanted the full backs forward in a 4-3-3 and always full backs forward, even same time, be expansive. Balance comes elsewhere from the midfield. And then I put full backs in that had good legs and all that. We had them already because we played 4-3-3 that way. So then there was one player left. I said, well, okay, well, we need to have one centre forward as well. So here we go, boom. So that was the 4-3-2-1 formation, and that what changed the whole thing. And then I started to look at the movement of the players and can our players to do that, and I realized that by the way you can create so many overloads, so many areas of the pitch, and let's try this. And we trained a couple of days before, I think it was League Cup game against Rangers, where we used it first time. And it was great. The game started, we were running the show. We were passing the ball exactly how we wanted. And about 10-15 minutes gone, I'm standing in my technical area. Walter, Rangers, was standing. Koisti and Indurant on the bench, assistants, and suddenly, because we were just passing the ball, and creating overloads, and using them well, and attacking and having shots, and Walter turned to his coaching staff, to his bench, and said, "What's happening? What's happening? I can't believe this. What are they doing? What's happening?" You know, and I was like that. Come on, you beauty! It's working. It's working, and it was a great moment. We lost the game, but we played well, and I thought that this formation might be a good one. And then after that, I think we beat Hearts, that game I just mentioned, Tynecastle 3-0. So we had 3-0 victories on the bounce straight after that. Hearts, I think it was St Johnstone and Hamilton. So Hearts and St Johnstone away and Hamilton home, and that was it. We kept that formation and we kept strengthening and we kept training, kept tweaking it a little bit and improving. It was great. It was good, and the boys loved it. Because everybody likes to pass the ball. Everybody likes overloads. You know, the 3 players and pass the ball and not too many touches and being dynamic also, not just the keeping possession, but you know, use those number 10s, get them turned, and then Connor Salmon up front. Don't tell me you got his photo as well. And then
sadly not.
yeah,
I can go get it if you want.
and Big Connor eventually, you know, took his place in the team, and he was unbelievable. We worked on his starting positions, his runs, the way he finishes, and all that, and it was a revelation. It was fantastic.
A move to the Premier League, didn't he?
He got the move, yeah. He had scored 18 goals mid-January, and got moved to the down south.
And you weren't too far behind him, just a couple of months later. Obviously, with the style of play, the success, the plaudits, came interest. Maybe you've been linked with a few jobs at the time. I think you were linked with some jobs in England as well at the time. You were also named Manager of the Year, despite not finishing the season, which was pretty remarkable in itself. Shows how good a job you did. But the job you did take was the Finland national team job. Just echoing what I said at the start of the previous question, was it just a case of you cannot turn this down? It's your country coming calling. That's it. Simple as. You
can't. It's needless to say, everything was absolutely bang on and great. Kilmarnock. We were playing well. Crowds were getting bigger. Fans were happy. Everybody was enjoying and everybody was happy. So, but when national team, and I was lucky enough to play 70 times and being a captain for Finland as well. When they come and ask you to be the head coach, so difficult to say. What if that chance never comes again?
Absolutely.
So impossible to turn down. Many times I thought that what if I stayed at Killy and kept improving, progressing, but you know, I made that decision then, and and it was great, 4.5 years. And my job was with the Finland team, to make the team younger. It was a transition. We had lots of experienced players like Jari Litmanen and still playing, and many others. Sadly, I had to say that sorry guys, my job is to make the team younger and start giving those youngsters experience. So unfortunately, you won't be selected anymore, which is not easy.
No.
And I had played with them, some of them like Jari.
Yep.
And stuff like that. So it wasn't easy, but it had to be done. And but it was great for my learning as a national head coach, and proud moment as well to be there as a head coach.
You would return to Scottish football, return to one of your former clubs once again, Dundee United.
Yeah.
You took over when they were bottom of the table, so you must have known going into that this was going to be a really difficult job. And then there was a moment after you'd lost to Celtic, a couple of weeks I think it was into your managerial reign, where it's fair to say you publicly let the players know what you thought about that game.
It was a mistake for me, but
I was going to ask you. Like,
no, it just came out. It just I swore. I say that what's the effing meaning? What's the point of training if you don't execute it in the match? So that was it. I wasn't happy at all. It was difficult. Obviously, Dundee United before Jackie McNamara had done a fantastic job, brilliant job, and then the club sold a lot of players. I think 13 players in total, good players. So basically, it was basically a new team, and it wasn't going well. It was sticky. It was difficult, which was a pity, because Dundee United is a wonderful club and great supporters, and obviously my first club abroad, and great fun memories and all that. But player budget was full. We took some players. We wanted to bring experience, but only chance to get when the player budget especially is full is to bring in experienced players cheaply. They've got injury background, they've got stuff like that, and so many of them were injured again. So it was a gamble, but that was the only chance. And then it didn't help either that the club sold 2 starting 11 defenders in January, and didn't have too much to say about that either. So it was difficult. It was totally up against it, and we fought hard. We trained, and developed the squad, but unfortunately it wasn't enough.
That to this day is your last managerial job in Scotland, but then you went international after that, and I want to ask you about one job in particular. So here's you on the touchline here, over here. This is you in Hong Kong, yeah.
Yes.
Now, is it 2019 you took the Hong Kong
yes.
job? Is it, so you arrived in Hong Kong at a time where there was quite a lot of political chaos, wasn't there?
Yes.
I just wondered, did that, just with all that's going on in the world just now, I've noticed there were quotes out there once when you were actually telling Iran that it was safe to come to Hong Kong, which is pretty remarkable when you consider what's going on in the world just now.
I know.
That must have been a totally different sort of thing for you to have to deal with
funny.
over there.
It was well, it wasn't funny, but it was funny. I joined Hong Kong in April, and the social unrest against the Chinese regime, the Hong Kongers, went to the streets and started to burn cars and and demonstrate. And then I started getting phone calls. What you done there in 2 months? People are on the streets and burning cars and demonstrating. What you done there, big man? And I was like, nothing. But it was a difficult time because of that. It was difficult to get anybody to come to Hong Kong to play. Iran nearly said they're not coming. They did. That was a World Cup qualifier. They eventually came, and we played, and then the COVID. Shortly after that, COVID came, and the league wasn't played many months, and then it was played 2 months, and then numbers went up again, COVID-wise, and it was just postponed again. It was just stop and start.
They took a really hardline approach in Hong Kong to COVID.
And quite rightly so. And rightly so, because Hong Kong is so densely populated, and you know, there's skyscrapers. You know, if that COVID goes to one of the skyscrapers, it's 40,000, 50,000 people straight away. And it's they took it so seriously over there. It was unbelievable. You were not allowed to go outside sometimes. You were not allowed to, only in twos, meet another person and keep the distance. Masks everywhere, inside, outside. And nothing was working. But you can understand that why they didn't want to, because it would have got totally out of hand. You know, in a small place like that, but so densely populated.
And that brings us to what is the final picture. More a badge than a picture, which is why we're here today. Now, a lot of people will know why we're speaking to you here down at Ainsley Park, home of Spartans. Some people might not. So if you just want to tell us what it is you're doing here down at Spartans now. This is your new Scottish football home, as it is,
yes,
isn't it?
Yes, and wonderful home it is. Spartans, obviously, I started studying sporting directorship year ago, and then had a chat with the majority shareholder of Spartans. Another matter altogether, and then he asked me what I'm doing, and I said I just started studying the sporting directorship, and amongst other jobs, UEFA and Scottish FA as well, and then 3 weeks after that, I was having coffee with the chairman, and everything went, and here we are. I'm now here as a sporting director. This is a great opportunity, wonderful opportunity, because this is a beautiful small club, great facilities,
tremendous,
absolutely wonderful people in charge here, and a real community club. Does a lot of good for the community around here. Done many years, and still you know, going strong, and it's an honor to be part of this club. It is in League Two, but the club is ambitious. They don't want to be League Two all the time. So, but other clubs are also ambitious in League Two. So it's never easy, but you know, we try and improve, and I'm just one part here, and so lucky to get this opportunity to work here and support the coaches. My job really is to support the men's first team, the women's first team coaches, coaching staff, and also under 20s development squad coaches, and talk to them about training content, talk about the tactics, game preparation, about the recruitment, try and improve the squads. And then obviously being also the link between the management of the team, coaching staff, and the board. So great, thoroughly enjoy it, and obviously the club is part-time club, but there's no job like part-time job. Every job is a full-time job. If you approach it the way you want, well, certainly I do, and you want to do your best, it's a full-time job. But enjoying it, liking it, but like I said, it's not easy, because other clubs are improving as well and all that. But it's great to work for a great club like this.
Well, as you say, great facilities, great foundations here as well. So, best of luck. We'll wish you all the success in the world.
Thank you.